Hey YouTube, if you've seen the community tab, you will know that I have a free kind of a personality test kind of a thing I'm beta testing, and it's been live for a few days, but now I made the mistake of asking for your email, but not making it required, and one participant of this test said no and at the same time did not provide the email address at all. So there's no way for me to send this person um, their test results. So since I only announced this on my YouTube channel and my Facebook, I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna give you the test results live here, tell you what the purpose of this test is, and how you can interpret this. Or if you want to check it out, you can check it out in the link. I don't know how long I'll make it free for because it does take a little bit of like analysis time on my end. But for now, it's free. Check it out in the links in the description. Okay, so what this test is a version of the preferred submodality test in something called NLP. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, and it's kind of a popular branch of coaching. And the purpose of this is now when you think of stuff in your brain, and when you experience the world, your sensory organs do something, right? Like take in electric signals and then store the information in your brain. But now different people have different preferences and filters based on their, brain's wiring and their previous experiences and such. So some people may be more focused on the eye, some people may be more focused on the ear, some people may like to touch things, and some people may be just thinking digitally, right? So the four kind of categories are visual, audio, kinesthetic, which includes taste and olfactory in this sense, and emotive feeling as well. And there's the digital, which is like commonly taught as auditory digital, but this is basically like I'm thinking like a system, like a computer programmer and such. And well, not any of this is like good or bad. This is just what your brain prefers. For example, my wife is a very visual person. I'm not. And I'm a very audio person, but my wife is not. So we would have conversations. We would watch the same movie, and then I would talk about how that song was really appropriate for the time, and my wife would talk about how that scene was composed really well. So it's the same experience. And the whole point is to realize that our brains are very different. And that's why perceptions of things, even if it's the same event, can be different. With that, let's dive in. So, anonymous person, I have people self rank whatever it is they're this in these categories. I want them to sync rel their current status. So I have five rankings right now, right? Very sucks, like sucks, mid, cool, very cool. And I get different kind of results every single time, but for this person, it looks like it's on the very extremes, right? Many things suck, and at the same time, many things are very cool. Now, in general, like, is there a good thing or a bad thing? No. Many people are more or less mid. Other people are mid cool. Other people are mid suck. Many people are suck in general. Many people are extreme. It's not a good or bad thing, it's just where you are in life. Given this self-evaluation, let's see how they correspond to your perception input, right? So in the visual realm, I ask, if home was a color, what would it be? And if home's a color, looks like it's yellow, right? And if work is a color, it's blue. If parents were a color, it's orange, and such, yes? But now, the greater pattern of what I'm trying to see is, among the sucks hard, is there a pattern? So normally I would look at these things and it's like, yes, there is a pattern. For example, very cool things here, they all seem to be in the purple indigo kind of end of the spectrum, right? So I'm talking about the rainbow color. So the very cool things sort of have a similar hue to them, which makes me think this person can potentially be a visual oriented thinker. And now, with that, sucks hard seems to be a little inconsistent, right? Now, yellow and then blue and orange. Now, if it was just these two, then I think there would be kind of an area in the yellow-orange part where it resonates with like sucky feelings. But the blue really stands out. So now, what can this mean? This can mean that your homework parents, they suck for very different reasons. So can we make a little bit more sense out of that? Let's continue. In the audio realm, that pattern seems to continue. Like this is in the orange yellow area and they're both high pitched. So if home was a sound, and gave a bunch of criterias for it. So for example here, uh, yeah, how would it feel if it were a sound? It's like high pitch, low pitch, monotone, melodic, loud, soft, silence. I gave a bunch of options. But for this person, the things that suck are home and parents, and they seem to be sort of in the high pitch area, right? Now, the world also sucks pretty hard, but it's low pitch, so it's a different kind of sucks hard. And now work is monotone as well, and maybe I don't know. This person can think that this kind of steady pitched monotone things are registering in their brain as sucky experiences. Contrast that with melodic things, especially in the self and the relationship. Now, friendship shares the world in terms of being low pitched, and that's maybe because the friends are kind of representative of the people in the real world. And while the people in the world may suck, once this person gets to make some friends, they seem a lot better. That might be what's happening in this brain. And melodic things are usually registered as good things because, like having a melody is pretty cool, it turns out. And so melody is used in a lot of like cool metrics, and I can see that here. So especially here as well, both purple and both melodic, and that seems very consistent with this. So basically, what I'm saying is this person may be as of right now, visual and auditory kind of thinker. It's possible to be both. Now, let's move on to the kinesthetic realm, where they're both hard. Like the sucks hard are hard, and this one again stands out on its own category. This one again stands out on its own category. So all three categories are consistent with each other. So they have an like related system. So this person may be a visual audio kinesthetic thinker at the moment. And now what stands out to me here is that this seems to indicate why friends and self are both cool. Like they're seen as sharp, and now relationship can be seen as soft. Sharp things usually are not kind of associated with cool things. But for this person, kinesthetically, the notion of self and friendship are registering as hard. And now, then why would relationships, which is soft, why is that kind of like very cool? It may be that, opposites attract, right? And this person may have a relationship with a kind of a opposite person, especially in the kinesthetic realm. And hey, you know what? That's okay too. Uh, Moving on, in the digital realm, like if, the question prompt that I use is if it was a concept, like what would you use to educate someone on it, right? So underlying thinking system, how does it define like work? How does it define home, right? What I'm looking for is like flowchart means that there's like a decision tree. Graph seems to indicate that depending on some parameters, it changes output. Formula gives you many variables, and depending on the state of the variables, it makes sense. Book is like a long story you gotta understand. Program means input and then output. And cannot be communicated too much chaos, and what are both like, I'm not a digital thinker, right? So relationships, I think, again aligns. It's very cool, right? But at the same time, this soft and there is complexity captured here, right? And sucking hard things again seems these two things are in its flowchart again. World seems to be a flowchart for them too. It's like a decision tree, and work seems to be following a formula. That formula may be really boring to this person at the same. And I think this is reflected here as well, right? So this person thinks their life is kind of a book. There's the notion of self as a book, which means there's like a story, right? And there's like a narrative, there's a chapter, there's an order to it. But given that the world and the work and these are just like formulas and flowcharts, I can see that why these things can be described as sucking. So again, there's consistency here, which makes me think, anonymous person, if you are watching this video, you are all areas like activated, right? You are a visual thinker, you're an audio thinker, you're a kinesthetic thinker, and you're a digital thinker. Now, what is good about this? You can be very flexible with your learning, right? When you're learning new things, you can easily take in information because you can take in any kind of information. Some people prefer audiobooks, some people like to flip pages, some people like things explained to them, right? But for you, you can take in anything and it more or less register the same. And now, with this like information that you just uncovered, you can, when you're communicating with another person, you can understand them better, and at the same time, when you can figure out, or like when you can kind of sense that this person is a feeler, this person is an audio person, this person is a visual person, you can adapt your language to kind of accommodate that need. And I think that's a very wonderful kind of a gift for the people who have all kinds of submodalities active. Now, what are the cons? Well, if you're not really there is no con, but like if you're not really aware of this kind of submodality concept, when some people aren't as well rounded as you, it can be very frustrating to you because you can kind of think they're stupid, right? Like, why don't they get this? It's so clear. And you're explaining in visual terms, but their visual like sensitivity is really low. Then it's like talking to a wall, and it can be very frustrating. But now that you have this knowledge, I think it can be very beneficial for you. Thank you for participating. If you want to check this test out on your own, please check out the links in the description. Email is required now, so there's no, I mean, this won't happen again. I'm gonna write you an email with your results back. And of course, as always, you can say no to my email list. It's not a requirement, and I promise you, once I write you your reply, I'm just gonna forget about your email because turns out I forget a lot of things. Okay, thank you for this opportunity, and talk to you next video.